right, welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. Ooh, that's wobbling. Welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. On Saturday, Valentine's Day afternoon. So, yep, Valentine's Day, February the 14th. Also, coincidentally, this is 20 years that Fuzzy's been diagnosed as diabetic. That was my good old Valentine's Day present back in 2006. This is now 2026. If you take 2006, add 20 years on it, you get 2026. Pretty smart today. And I didn't even sleep at a hotel, the Express hotel last night. Holiday Inn Express, that's the one. But I still got that answer right. Got me some good coffee. So anyway, we're going to prove a point today, kind of one of them things. I got into another discussion the other day on technique. Technique trumps tools. Plain and simple. There's no such thing as a razor that's too aggressive, and I need an adjustable so I can turn it down for this pass and turn it up for that pass. That was all marketing hype, by the way. There's just no such thing as a razor that's too aggressive. Razor's a razor, blade's a blade. If the blade is sharp, if you can keep consistent angle and pressure, you can take it shaved. So, technique. I think there's a lot of things in the world that we try to, there were some razors that were made here a while back, and people were talking about how, I can't get a good shave out of a regular razor, but I can get a BBS shave out of this one because they built it like this and like that. And the head pivots, I thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. I still think it's the stupidest thing in the world that you think you need to take a razor and make a head pivot on it. It uses a single edge blade so that you can get a good shave, because you can't learn the technique to use a real razor. Technique trumps tools. Throw tools at things. And I never have been a huge fan of that, and I never will be. So anyway, what I have is I have a Schick G8 that we call a Chevette, or an SE-vet, because it's kind of like a Chevette on a handle. So what they did was, and I bought it like this. I didn't do this to this razor, but it came in a lot of razors, and I cannot remember if I bought it knowing that this razor was in there, or if when it showed up, it was, it is. So anyway, it's a G8, and is that a G8? Or is that but anyway, there we go. No guard on it. No safety guard bar at all. And it's just a blade sitting out there. And razors like that will definitely tell you if you know what you're doing or not. And we're going to see. We just got a regular day's growth here. I didn't shave for Friday night because it was Friday night and I was being lazy. And it's been a really, really long week. Some extra shifts and some different stuff. And it's just been long. And I didn't feel like shaving, so I didn't. But anyway, the boss is still on the Caribbean cruise, so. Anyway, but yep, so we got that G8 there. I do believe that's what that is. And, but it's a G model anyway it goes. We've got Dollar Tree soap, which amazingly enough works great. It's a great soap. I've got a Frank Shaving flat top knot here that I put into a handle that was made by my Canadian buddy Patrick. See? Still got it. When I put it in, I didn't set it deep enough so it's floppy. Does it still shave, make lather? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with it in the world. But it is definitely a floppier brush. So there we go. We're going to finish up with Whiskey Woods today. What I kind of call a working man's type scent. Like I said, I had an uncle that with a front end loader. When I was a kid, I remember him, not as good as some other folks do, but I do remember Uncle Buddy, and very quiet in that I remember. He drove a front end loader to gravel pit where they offloaded gravel off barges down the Mississippi River in Greenville, Mississippi, yada yada. I've told this story before, but this scent of the Whiskey Woods is just one that I could see a person that does work like that wearing it. It just has that feel to it, and I love it. But anyway, let's see if we can get some lather going here. Remember, we're not worried about making buttercream. We're not going to ice a cake. If you want to make buttercream, go get you a cake. There's no need to bloom the soap. Believe it or not, even Williams, there's no need to bloom. If you want to bloom something, go get some flowers. Never have liked people think you got to sit there and let it soak. oh, but it makes it easier to lather because it softens this and it does this. Well, one, you know, you're soaking your soap, so it's gonna not last as long and stuff. And it's just, well, soap is cheap, but yeah. But anyway, it just all goes into the same thing of going and instead of just learning to do something like good lather technique. And I've used that concept. I've proved that. I've used Scoutmaster, which is the absolute worst shave soap in the world. I've used it well. The second one was the Murby's, and it's just about as bad. And so anyway, I've used those with a Murby's brush, which is a horrible little brush. And I have used those and made quality lather to shave with. So I know what I'm talking about. It all goes back. When I say a razor is a razor and a blade's a blade, no such thing as a razor that's too aggressive. That's what your technique is for. Learn how to do something. Got all these kids running around I complain about that think they can drive. Had one try to kill me last night on my way to work. They don't know how to drive. They ain't learned. They ain't been driving 10 minutes. But and longevity does not always mean I get behind adults times that just don't know. Don't have a clue. So I'm running to work last night. So anyway, that's a brand new blade. It's a Schick blade. One of the Chicks, the Schick blades are made in Schick blades that are made in China, and they're nice and sharp. Well, hello, Miss Luna. And so there we go. No guard. You'll also note I don't mute the ends. It's kind of a sissy thing to do. I know there's people with shavettes and they use the ones that use the half of a double-edged blade and to break it and they put in, they want to mute the edges so they don't poke themselves. It's like, learn your skills. You ain't got to worry about that, boys and girls. You ain't going to poke yourself. So anyway, let's see if we can do this without drawing a bunch of blood. I hadn't used this thing in a while. Angle and pressure. Does it really matter what the blade gap is and all that kind of good stuff? I don't think so. I bought this razor and a lot of razors, and like I said, I don't remember if I knew about it, but I had seen other people using razors that they'd cut the guard bar off of. Pretty neat, actually. So anyway, going to work last night, and there's a stretch of road I drive on Burbank Drive that 55 miles an hour, so I'm speeding up. Light has turned green. I've driven through here a million times over the last 12 years I've lived over here. And so I know the light's going to be green, so I'm getting the old Expedition up to speed, and we're running along, and I get up there, and I get pretty dang close to it, and this kid decides he's going to go right on red right in front of me. Well, luckily, he noticed in time when he went to pull out, so I'm going from, pretty much full go to full whoa, and he decides to come. I'm in the right-hand lane, where I'm supposed to be by Louisiana law, right, except the pass, and in his credit, once he noticed what he did, he eased over into the left-hand lane. Now, if I wouldn't have gotten on the brakes and slowed down, it would have been a whole lot harder to avoid. But he did eventually get over in the left lane. But then he speeds back up in a little while. He stays in the left lane and he speeds back up, and a little while up the road, I need to get into the left lane to pass somebody. And of course, he's riding right there off my quarter panel, and I can't move over to go around, so I got to break my speed anyway. So that's the kind of stuff that infuriates me. And I've gotten some of the bigger speeding tickets I've ever gotten dealing with stuff like that, because my first instinct is to put the pedal to the metal and eastbound and down and pull a smoky on them. But anyway, I didn't. Made it to work in one piece. Anyway, as you can see, we're not drawing a lot of blood, and we're not having to go extra slow or do anything. We're just shaving. I attribute that to the fact that I have good technique. I have developed on purpose good technique. I shave with all different kind of razors and straight razor and everything. I'm gonna have a couple of weepers out of this, I bet. But that's okay too. I think that's not a bad deal. I get weepers sometimes, but ones that got guard blades on them because I'm getting old and wrinkly. using something like this, though, I will say it is a very, very good idea to set some, especially on these across the grain runs. We don't go against the grain in this world. Ooh, that's a good shape. All right, let's get cleaned up here and see what we got. Technique trumps tools. Now, I didn't make that one up on my own, but I definitely adopted it. Cannot remember the fella's name that popularized that over yonder. But it was a good saying that I agree with. People want to go, now you got the auto steer and auto park. You know, back when I was younger and I used to drive buses and stuff, I could parallel park a school bus. Not the little short bus, but an actual school bus. Could I do it now? I don't know. I haven't driven a bus in a while. But it was one time, back when I drove the trucks, the farm trucks, and was in a Mississippi Delta Community College, and I drove the bus up there. Rode the dance team, 21 of the best looking gals on campus, right there, all in one bus. And I could parallel park a bus like most people park a Volkswagen. But anyway, there ain't a lot to touch up on this last pass. We're gonna go through here, but this is what I mean when I tell you there's no such thing as a razor that's too aggressive. I got into another argument, not an argument, a little discussion with folks on that the other day. And again, you'll notice, didn't mute the end of the blades, and I didn't cut myself all up. And there we go. So what we end up with is a great Valentine's Day shave for my date today. Me and Sidekick are going to go out to Olive Garden here in a little while. There's several Mardi Gras parades today here in Baton Rouge. I don't do Mardi Gras, I don't do parades. And this year has been kind of rough. They have one of the little local towns had a bunch of kids got to shooting at each other right at the start of the parade. And that's just not as uncommon as you think it might be around here. People go out trying to have a good time, and a bunch of kids come out and mess it up. But anyway, I'm not going to get into those discussions during a shave. But so I don't do Mardi Gras and stuff like that. But we're going to go do lunch, and later on tonight, woo! I wish you could feel this shave. Now I don't let people walk up and touch my face, so you probably really couldn't. But I guarantee you that right there is a high quality, as close as you're going to get to a BBS shave. Very high quality, dang high shave, as you're going to get here. It's like using a straight razor on a stick. I get it. But anyway, there you go. Put a little Whiskey Woods on here. Makes me feel like I work for a living still, although I don't do a whole lot like I used to. Of course, a lot of people tell you I was lazy when I was a kid, and I didn't really do anything then, but at least I was out sometimes. But anyway, either here, there, and the yonder, it makes me feel that feeling. It's going to be really good with a cigar. Sidekick likes the smell of the cigars when I'm smoking, so I don't have to worry about, there's folks that don't like that, and you got to worry about smoking around them, and those aren't really my kind of people. Sorry. So, got us some good coffee, and now we got us a really, really, really good shave. Take one more look at that thing. No guard bar at all. Brand new blade. And those chick blades are very sharp blades. But there we go. All right, well, we're going to call it quits on that one. I hope y'all have a good day. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Did I mention that it's been 20 years? Yep, I did mention that. It's been 20 years since I've been diagnosed as diabetic. 2006 plus 20 is 2026, so here we are. But anyway, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, learn technique. Whether it's making lather or whether it's using a razor, use different types of razors. If you really want to kick, learn to use an open blade razor. It's just fun. It's exciting. When you get good technique, you can use a $1.25 Dollar Tree razor, and you'll get just as good a shave as you'll get out of a Mercer or any of the other stuff. Trust me on this one. Never trust anybody that says trust me, but trust me. You won't regret it. All right, y'all have a good day. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. If you're down south here and this line of storms is going to move through tonight, batten down the hatches, be careful. We'll talk to you next time. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shaves to you.